and girls, welcome to today's United Kingdom Talk.
From the Mirrorball studio in Royal Berkshire, this is Chris Reardon.
Warm welcome along, as always. And today, those of you that can see, I am wearing a very nice, very lime, is it a lime green shirt? I told you I knew I had all these shirts in the cupboard somewhere, and they're all coming back out for a second life. You see, never chuck anything away. There's a lot to be said for hoarding. Do you know my friend Justin, who runs the pub in Hemel Hempstead where we're going to try out the karaoke? He is a hoarder. Oh, it's terrible. If you've got something that he hasn't got... Excuse me, I'm sniffing already. Oh, excuse me. If you go and see him and you mention something that he hasn't got, oh, that's it. The wings start flapping like a magpie. I want one of those. I want one of those. I want one of those. I've told you this before, haven't I? He always wants what everyone else has got. And then, and he'll go on and on and on about it until he gets whatever it is. And then it's on to the next thing. It's one of those, you can never satisfy the want of that person. And it's terrible to be like that, dear, isn't it? You just have to accept what you have. And that's it. What do I want out of life? Well, at the moment... well, another half. Apart from that, a better camera for doing this programme. A better camera, but we're not quite sure. You see, I already nearly lost a load of money. Not a load of money, not enormous amounts. But I bought that other webcam, and it turned out to be completely useless, didn't it? But I did get a full refund. And I have to say, very impressed in the speed which that was all handled. So a quick mention for them, dabs, dabs.com. Okay, that's why I get a lot of my computer bits and pieces. And it's the first I've been buying stuff from them for about 3 years, I suppose. But that's the first time I've had to send something back, and they refunded my money within a few days. So I'm very impressed by that. Once again, dabs, dabs.com. Don't always like to mention good service, you know that, dears. But I would like a bit better webcam. Someone was telling me by email, I don't know if the email's here actually, come to think of it. It might be here. Someone was telling me the Sony webcams are supposed to be very good. A little more expensive, but apparently they're supposed to be a lot better. So I might try another one of those. Well, I say expensive. I'm sure I saw one on the net for about 50 quid. So I might try one of those, although this person also told me it can be a little bit tricky setting things up. So we might try that. So there we are. Another half and a new webcam. It's not much to ask for, is it, eh? Talking to people asking for things, we have forgotten. Well, we haven't forgotten because I'm going to do it now. We've got a little bit late for one of these birthdays. Now, you know, at any time at all, I'm happy to sing you happy birthday. But don't pretend it's your birthday when it's not, because I will find out, you know. I will know. We get that sometimes if I'm DJing somewhere. And someone say, oh, can you play this for so-and-so's birthday? And you mentioned it's the birthday, and then you play the record. And then someone else comes up for someone else. And you can tell it's not really their birthdays. They're just using it as an excuse to get a record played. It's a liberty, that's what it is. It's a mortal sin. And it's not really their birthdays. You don't have to do that, dears. I don't mind giving you a mention, even if it's not your birthday. It doesn't have to be a special occasion. However, it was a special occasion for this person exactly a week ago. Now, it says, Dear Chris Reardon, this is Amir from Canada, and I'm a listener to your talk show. To be honest, you have a great show, and it's quite funny at times as well. What do you mean, at times? At times? What times are these, dear? At times? It's supposed to be funny all the time. We don't do serious. Well, very rarely do we do serious. Now and again, we touch, or someone might bring something up, but rarely would you. Most of the time, I hope it is quite funny for you. I, myself, am planning to move to London after I finish my secondary education, so I can join either the RAF or the Met. I'm already a Royal Canadian Air Cadet. Anyway, I heard that you can sing happy birthday to your listeners, so I was wondering if you can please do so for me on March the 12th, so that's last week, okay? I'm turning 16 this week, and if you can do this for me, that would be awesome. Thanks and take care, sir. Oh, don't be calling me sir. Call me Chris, Amir, all right, Chris? So, okay, so we're going to sing happy birthday a week late, but better late than never. Eh? Here we go, Amir. Are you ready? Here we go, here we go. Just a minute, let me play my music. I've got the music here as well, don't worry. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Amir. Happy birthday to you. There you are. All right. Happy birthday, Amir. Oh, I've dropped my pen now. Hang on. I don't like to bend down in front of the camera because of the bald spot on my head. I mean, there's a lot to be said to listening to this on the radio, really, or on the podcast, really, isn't there? Then you won't see my lovely shirts, though. I've got, as I say, I've got a nice collection of different coloured shirts in the cupboard. I'm sure I am wearing a new one, a different one on each show. Right, now, should we do some more emails, or shall I just have a little bit of a chat? I think I'll have a chat first. Oh, I've got 2 new gadgets this week. I bought a new telephone for downstairs because the old one developed this buzzing noise, and there's nothing really, you can't really repair these things anymore. There's nothing to repair, it's just a circuit board, isn't it? So I bought a new phone for downstairs and a new digital audio broadcasting radio. Oh, it's marvellous. I've got to tell you this. I went into our local electrical shop that I don't usually go in this one, but I went. It was Curry's, which is in Bracknell. And I'm hanging out. The place was empty. I've got to tell you this. The entire shop was empty. And it's one of those big warehouse type shops, you know, not just like a little corner shop. Great big place, like PC World. This was a huge, great Curry's. I went in there the other day. It was doing a weekday. And the place was empty. And there they were all gathered around, like bees, all gathered around the staff, round the till in the centre of the shop. And I have gone in there and I'm looking for a new DAB radio for the bathroom, because the one I've got in the bathroom, which my sister bought me years ago, it's like a CD tape radio thing. It started to become very hissy, you know. I sounded like a cat then, didn't I? Okay, so I thought I would buy one of these digital audio broadcasting radios and see if that improves the thing. So I'm in the shop, right? I'm looking at the radios, and I can't find the DAB ones. It's like, how can I explain? A shop is set out almost like a supermarket, parts of it, with shelves like this, stacked with thousands and thousands of lovely-looking gadgets. So I'm standing looking at these radios. This boy came over. He's about 25, you know, and he had quite well dressed. They're all quite well dressed in Curry's, I usually find. Except one a couple of years ago. I mean, he was enormous, this boy. I'm so sorry, I get itchy ear. Can I just scratch my ear? Just when it... Oh, isn't it lovely? Oh, I do like a scratch the ear. Oh, that's so far. Oh, that's better. That me scratching my ear there, that was possibly my highlight of the day. That was beautiful, that was. Do you like a good scratch your ear? Don't put cotton buds in. Very bad. You get infections, right? No cotton buds in ears. Now, as I was saying... Yeah, he was quite well dressed. Most of them were well dressed, except some great big enormous thing a couple of years ago, who got very upset when I refused to buy the extended warranty. Oh, the face on him was unbelievable. And never, as I've said before, never, ever, ever be talked into buying an extended warranty if you don't want one. When they ask you, you've got to be firm. You've got to talk to them like dogs. I mean, you have. You've got to be firm and say, no. Right, I'll get onto that bit in a minute. So this boy's come over. He says, "Can I help you, sir?" I said, "Yes, I'd like to buy a digital audio radio, please." I said, "Have you got any stock? I can't find any of them here. I'm facing these shelves." He said, "No, sir, they're right behind you." And I turned around. Of course, they were all on the other shelf, aren't they? How stupid did I feel? I said, "Oh, right, OK, then." You know, without trying to look embarrassed at this point. Not that far. Remember, keep in control of what you're shopping. Don't let any salesman try and turn you around or tell you what to do. You are buying something from them. All right? We've approached this whole salesman thing before. Carl in Yorkshire got ever so up. Did you hear him on the phone the other day? Eh? Carl in Yorkshire. You did, didn't you? He got very upset one week. He said I was having too many goes at salesmen. No, not at all. Important, when you're in a shop, whatever you're buying, whether it's a tub of margarine or a house, you keep in control of the situation, all right? Don't be talked into anything. That's it. So I said, right, OK then. I said, oh, right, OK, so I'm looking at these ones. I immediately avoided the cheapest ones on there. Straight away, you know, the own brand ones, which I'm sure are fine, but they don't seem to last very well. I've bought an own brand. I remember buying an own brand colour portable television once. It only lasted about 18 months, and then the tube went. Right, you get what you pay for. It's false economy to buy cheap. Because in the space of, I had, up there now, I've got a little Ferguson. Let me see, just show that. A little Ferguson. 1 second, let me just move something around here. That's it. I've got a little Ferguson portable television on the wall, just behind me there. Those of you watching, I can show it to you there, okay? Little portable Ferguson television there, which has been there now for... I would say 10 years at least. 10 years old, that television. Still works perfectly. I bought a shop's own brand television once. Didn't even last 2 years. So you get what you pay for. And at the end of the day, when you say, oh, you know, you're buying the more expensive one, in general, it's only like £20 or £30 more expensive. The more expensive ones are usually not that much dearer. All right. So I'm looking at these radios and I said to him, "Oh, can I listen to that one there, please?" And he said, "Sorry, sir?" You know, as this. And I said, "Well, can I have a listen to that one?" Oh, you know, so surprised that someone has asked to listen to something. Oh, I don't know where the power pack is. Or something like that, he said. I said, "Oh, is it not batteries?" He said, "Well, it takes batteries as well, but there's none in it." And I'm like, right. And I'm standing there, and he's standing there looking at me. "Oh, well, I'll go and see if I can find the power pack." So he found the power pack, which is actually plugged in. You see, the trouble is, with all this electrical equipment, the power pack or the adapter always seems, you know, the little plug that you plug into the various gadgets to give it electricity, it always seems to be a different size, doesn't it? Have you noticed that? Why can't they just make them all the same size? How hard can that be? Oh no, some small ones, some large ones, some enormous ones, some are square, some are round, some are triangular, and they're all different. And this is half the problem. Anyway, so he's now looking, because all these radios are like lined up along the shelf. He's now looking for the power pack for that particular one, and he found it and plugged it in, and he turned it on, and he said, "I don't know if we'll get a signal in here," and he pushed some buttons, and then through came the music on the radio, and I'm like, right, okay then, can I try that one now? And he looked at me. He said, "Oh, do you want to hear another one?" I said, "Yes." So he tried a little small one, which was a very good brand. It was a Sony, so I thought this one will sound good. And it sounded okay, but because it was such a small radio, it was a bit tinny, you know. And I think in the end, we tried about 5 different radios, by which time I think it was getting annoyed. Oh, but blimey. I mean, they don't want to work, do they? They want you to just go in there, take a box out, and that's it. I'm sorry, that is not how to buy audio equipment. Any audio person will tell you, you buy audio equipment not by how it looks, or the type of the box it's in, or the pretty pictures. You must listen to whatever you're buying before you walk out the shop. And I ended up with, I've got it here with me, I ended up with a Roberts radio, which is actually quite heavy. My new digital audio radio, and it sounds really good. Now, if I play, I don't think I can actually play this. Can we play this now?
Yeah. Right. But the point that I'm making is...
It's a bit difficult to actually hear the quality of something when you're holding it up against a microphone. But believe me, he turned this one on and the bass was so much better. It's not a very large radio, but there we are. The best sounding one in there I found was the Roberts radio. Of course, Roberts have been making radios for years and years and years. I bought my mum one once, about 8 years ago, as I say. For her birthday, I think it was once. They're certainly not the cheapest one. This one was £89. They did have radios in there for £30, but nowhere near as good sounding as this. So you get what you pay for. So I'm really pleased about that. So I went to the till, and he looked relieved that I actually bought something after all his hard work, you know, of just unplugging and plugging power packs in for me. Well, when you think about it, I mean, if they're going to moan, why don't they just plug them all in so that they're ready, so that people can go around and push a button and it will come on? Oh, no, you have to call someone over, don't you? Poor boy. I felt sorry for him. I really did. So we get to the till as usual. And he starts tapping away at buttons. And he says, right, I don't know if you're aware, sir. And I thought, here we go. Here we go, the extended warranty is going to be offered now. I don't know if you know, sir, but for just, I don't know what it was, £19, we'll cover you again, accident, and I cut them short. I don't even let them finish the sentence. Actually, if you ever get a chance to talk to any of my friends, they too will tell you I often don't give anyone the chance to finish the sentence, and I certainly don't give salesmen a chance to finish sentences. And I said, no thanks, I'm not interested. Oh, it was just the extended warranty I was going to mention. I said, yes, I know you were, and I'm not going to buy one. I'm not interested in that. Just the radio, please. OK, sir. Now, if you're really firm with them like that, they won't go on. Now, I never used to be like that. My sister isn't like that. She thinks it's rude. She thinks it's rude not to let them carry on. Nope, you've got to stop them there and make a point. No, I don't want one. End of story. You don't have to shout or anything like that. Just be firm, OK? So that was it. And I left the shop with my new radio, £89, and I'm very pleased with that. The sound is really good on this. I am impressed. All right, so there we are, my new Roberts radio. Very pleased with that. And the new phone downstairs. What did I buy? A phone from BT, which wasn't particularly expensive. I think it was about £15. Isn't it amazing? Do you think it's amazing how cheap telephones are? You know, well, I've got one here next to me here. This is the one that always seems to ring when I'm doing my show. Look at this little phone here, which is a few years old. And one of these is now £15. How do they do all that technology in there for £15? I don't know if it comes from China. I don't know where this one comes from. Because a lot of the stuff in China's cheap, isn't it? They're doing very well with all their stuff. It seems reasonable quality. I've never had any problems with any of their stuff. All right. Now, what else have we got to tell you about? Oh, yes. My niece Tracey. You know, she's now in her new home with her boyfriend, Ben. OK? Oh, I'll make you laugh, dear. Now, Tracey, my niece, she used to spend... She's one of these girls, and she would spend an hour, half an hour, whatever, in the morning. She'd wake up in the morning and start putting all her makeup on. Since being in the new house, my sister has now seen her without makeup 3 times. Apparently they were out the other day. Oh, I can't believe it. The phone's ringing now. Look, the phone's ringing. Excuse me a minute. Hello? Hello? Oh, just doing my little show at the moment. My little show. It's only a little show. Only 57 minutes long. Can I call you back afterwards? Thank you, Richard, in Birmingham. In Birmingham. In Birmingham, who is in London now. Bye-bye. Oh, that's our friend Richard. He's a regular viewer and listener to the programme. Now, where was I? Oh, yes, Tracey. And my sister, she said to her, what have you done different? And Tracey says, what? What, Mum? She said, my sister says, you've done something different. And she says, oh, my makeup. She said, yeah, where's your makeup? Because my sister, I don't think my sister wears makeup, actually. Well, she doesn't look like she does anyway. Oh, dear, talk about a leathery old face she's got now. I'm only joking, sis. Don't tell me that phone's ringing again. Did you see that flash? By the way, did you see the flashing light then, those of you watching? There's a flashing light in here that goes off. Really, I should turn the bell off on the phone and just have the flashing light. Now, what was I saying? Oh, yes. And she says, you got no makeup on. And Tracey says, oh, I know, Mum. I haven't had time, what with all the housework. So she's learning. She's learning that it's not all easy having a house. Apparently, the other day, around about 11 o'clock in the morning, Tracey rung up my sister and says, oh, can Ben borrow the car later on? That's Ben, her boyfriend. And she wanted to borrow my sister. He wants to borrow my sister's car. I think they were moving stuff or going shopping, because my sister, she's got one of those people carrier things. You know, you get about 200 people in there. And I think they were moving some bits and pieces. So, of course, my sister said, yeah, tell him to come round later on, or you come round later on and collect it. And Tracey says, OK. And then 3 hours later, that was at 11 o'clock. 3 hours later at 2 o'clock, Tracey rung up and going, she says, oh, Mum, she says, I don't suppose, have you got enough time to bring the car round to me? And we haven't had time to get out. Because she was doing the housework. 3 hours, dear. 3 hours to do housework. How does it take that long? That's what I want to know. Don't take me long to do 3 hours. Now and again, you see, I don't set time to do housework. Do you? Do you have like a period of time? Do you sort of do it? I don't know. Sunday between 10 p.m. and 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Do you set that aside to do housework? I don't do any of that, dear. Oh, no. Now and again, if I look at the carpet and there are bits, you know, bits. Where do they come from, by the way? Do you know that? Bits on the carpet. Or I'll tell you a disgusting bit in a minute about my carpet. But I look, and if I see bits on the carpet, and they're usually white bits, you see, from my... There we are, look. From my white socks. Thank God I've got a pair of socks on today that haven't actually got a hole in. So the white socks, I get bits of white on the carpet all the time. And if that is the case, once that gets too bad, I might not do it if there's only a couple of bits on the carpet. But once it gets, you know, there's a few bits and pieces everywhere and whatever, then I will get the hoover out. Maybe once a week. That's all you need to do, once a week. I did tell you about one of my tenants in one of my properties. She hoovers 3 times a day. She's a bit obsessive. I hope she doesn't watch this programme. She won't know who I am anyway. I'm a secret landlord. People, they don't really know who I am. The estate agent looks after that. Oh, I can't be doing with all the bother of meeting tenants when things go wrong. No, thank you, dear. Although, according to the estate agent, I am a very good landlord. It's true, I am a very good landlord. That's what they say. When something goes wrong, it gets fixed there and then. And that's true, that is. People are queuing up at the moment, begging me to buy new properties for them to move into. And I say, no, I've got enough. Thank you very much. We don't need to be greedy. That's it. Now, where was I? Oh, on the subject of Tracey. Yeah, so she spent 3 hours doing this house. God knows what she found to do for 3 hours. Mind you, as I said in previous shows, her room used to be an absolute tip. So I'm can't wait. I've got to find some time to get up there and see what her new house is like, and whether it is spick and span or Is it a tip like her bedroom used to be? I can't wait. And of course, I will keep you fully informed on whether it's tidy or not. All right? I promise to keep you fully informed. She was she was saying, and she's rung up my sister a couple of times as well. This will make you laugh. And she says, Mum, she says, what? Ben keeps leaving the cupboard doors open. She's starting to find his bad habits. I'm sure my niece has absolutely no bad habits whatsoever, but Ben, who used to be known as, are you ready for this? Oh, it makes you sick. It's one of these like little love names that people give each other. Bubblegum Ben. I mean, that's what she used to call him. Bubblegum Ben. Right? I tell you that because she's calling in something else now, which I will come to in a minute. We're not having it all. You're not having it all at once, dears. All right? You don't have the pudding before the dinner, do you? I'm saving that bit. Can I just give my nose a little wipe? Just a minute. That's better. Bubblegum Ben was what? Isn't that nice? Oh, my Bubblegum Ben's coming back today from the RAF because that's where he works. Now. So, she says, Mum, Ben's really annoying me, keeps leaving the cupboard doors open. And my sister says, what do you mean he leaves the cupboard doors open? He leaves the cupboard doors open in the kitchen. He'll go into the kitchen, open a cupboard, take something out of the cupboard and not close the door. And it's driving my niece mad. She's going mad. And then the other day, apparently, he went to the kitchen to get something out of the fridge, right? And left the fridge door open. I mean, that's just not good for the environment, is it? That even upset me when she said that, dear. Right, so she rang up my sister and told her that. So I thought, I'll ring up my Tracey. She's come back with another few little bits and pieces like that. Oh, Mum, we've been here a whole week now and he hasn't cooked me dinner yet. What? What do you mean he hasn't cooked you dinner yet, dear? You're the woman? Get in that kitchen, girl, now. Well, I don't know what she expected. But she said, oh, he hasn't cooked me dinner yet. Huh? And before anyone writes in and says, oh, that's a horrible comment against women, oh, get a life and get a sense of humour. If you're listening to this programme for any seriousness, I told you before, you're wasting your time, dears. Wasting your time, because I should just turn everything on its head and make you laugh. That's what I'm on this planet for, to try and make people laugh. It doesn't always work, but I do try at least. So I rang her. I said, how's it all going? Oh, it's all right. Oh, we're lovely house and all this. I said, and how's Ben? She says, oh, Ben. I said, well, go on. She said, oh, you mean brain dead Ben? So it's it's gone now from Bubblegum Ben when he was staying at my sister's and she sometimes stayed at his mum's house. It's gone from Bubblegum Ben now to brain dead Ben. The other day, apparently, he was supposed to do the hoovering. He got the hoover, plugged it in to the wall, and then went and played on the Xbox. Oh, I love it. They've only been there a week. My sister says she goes round there. She says it's like a comedy show when you go round there and see how they are together. I mean, desperately in love, the pair of them, which is lovely. You know, they are like, well, it's like my other nephew. It's like my nephew. Oh, I've got two nephews. It's like my older nephew and his girlfriend. They do appear as one. But these two are so funny, Tracey and Ben. So I'll keep you fully informed. I can't wait to get up there. She's a good cook and what have you. But I think she's finding it a little bit difficult to settle into her new home. They've had the carpets laid and everything now. I told you about that, though. She thought she'd chosen the wrong colour, but she hasn't. So there we are. All right, now. Let's see. I think it was... have I told you about everything there now? Oh, yes. Oh, last night... let me just say, brain dead baby, I've told you that. Yeah, I've told you that bit. Last night, another excellent bingo night. I'm very pleased with how the Mondays are working at the moment. Now, bingo, I know I mention this quite a lot, but it is something I do, and little things happen there that I quite like to talk about. Bingo is something I do every Monday night. Now, there is a website, bingay.com, bingay.com, okay? The Golden Lion, which is in Britannia Street, King's Cross in London, every Monday night between 8 p.m. and 12 midnight. It's just a game. Okay, it's a game, and you can win little prizes. I mean, there's not great big prizes or anything like that. And someone who also listens to the show, Lisa. Hello, Lisa. Now, Lisa is quite a big girl, tall-wise. I mean, tall. She's quite a tall girl, and she's got a skinhead haircut. Oh, she did have a skinhead haircut. Oh, she's very butch, Lisa. She's a lovely girl. She's got a skinhead haircut. But last night I noticed that was a little bit of hair showing, Lisa. You're going to have to get the razor blade to that, my darling. There was definitely hair showing. I mean, I looked at your hair last night and I thought, well, any minute now you're going to have pigtails. And I'm not keen on pigtails, are you? Have you? I've seen some of the girls working around King's Cross before on the streets, and they've got pigtails, and they look a little bit old for pigtails. Lisa, you don't want pigtails, my darling. Now, Lisa does a very important job. She does security work on doors and, you know, looking after security type things. And she said she was watching or listening to one of the shows. Now, what was it? She said, you enough talk a load of rubbish sometimes. What a liberty, dear. Talk a load of rubbish? Who was that other one the other week? It was Matt, wasn't it? Who says, I don't know, go on. Well, that's the whole idea of it. I mean, look a bit stupid doing a chat show and not saying anything, wouldn't it? I mean, what if I left great big gaps like this? And then just sat there and didn't say anything? I mean, a bit silly. But it is a chat show. You're supposed to go on, dear. You're supposed to go on and on and on. So that's it, Lisa, all right? But I'm glad you're watching the show. And Lisa came up with a few suggestions for bingo prizes last night, which I take on board, and thank you very much for those. I think one was one of those pay-as-you-go mobile phones. She mentioned, what else, a DAB radio. Which is all well and good, actually, and we can probably do those things. But I think we'd only be able to do one a night because the ticket sales... If we were, like, very, very, very busy every night, we could do a lot of those things. But I think if we get possibly one larger prize each week, I think we can cope with that, actually. We can probably handle that. So I'll probably take that on board. The only thing is, of course, for example, yourself, Lisa, you don't get there till later on, and my guess is the top prize will go early on when we start, because we start at 8 o'clock. I know Lisa comes in with a deaf group to bingo on Monday nights. The deaf group, and it's quite a large group. Lisa usually comes in later. The rest of them come in quite early. There are 3 boys who come in, usually they're all deaf, and they come in. You're probably wondering now, how can deaf people play bingo? Actually, for some of those people, I'm very honoured almost to say that is their highlight of the week, coming to play bingo, because not only do I read the numbers out, they also come up on a couple of big screens around the venue, and they love it. They absolutely love it. They really do, and they're such nice people. I did, Lisa, come up with another idea. Now, you've seen pubs doing quiz nights and things like that. You know the quiz night where the quiz master walks around with a list of questions, read them out, and everyone has to write down the answers. I myself was doing one in Hemel Hempstead on a Wednesday night just a few weeks ago. And another idea I've had, how about a quiz night, but on the big screens? So, as the quiz master is reading out the... Do you like, or in my case, quiz mistress, okay? Quiz mistress. As I'm reading out the questions, they could come up on the computer screen. that could be another. I'm sure someone else must have thought of that before, but that could be another idea for something, especially for the ever-increasing size deaf group that we do have come in the pub on Monday night. Just an idea there. I don't know if you could do a whole night of that. That probably not, actually, because a quiz. Well, you could. I think you can string a quiz along to about an hour. But the problem with quizzes is that you've got to be careful no one's cheating, because I can't stand unfairness. If people are sitting there with their mobile phones texting their friends for answers or things like that, I mean, it's not on. I mean, I had that at the Steam Coach a couple of times in Hemel Hempstead when I was just doing the quiz there. And a couple of times I caught people on the phone. I immediately dismissed them from the quiz. Oh, yes, I'm very strict, dear. Very strict. So there's another little idea there, Lisa. And thank you for the comments on bingo prizes. We could possibly do one large prize each week. But as I say, it would probably go early on. Unless... That's the thought. Unless I hold on to it until sort of 10 o'clock. We could do that, I suppose, when there's enough people in. I don't know. But certainly an idea, and I really appreciate that. If anyone else has got any idea for bingo prizes, you know, nothing too expensive, some really cheap stuff, and something a little bit more expensive, okay? Because it depends how far up they win. The one-line prizes tend to be small things. The full house prizes are larger things. If you've ever got any ideas for bingo prizes, please let me know. The email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, right? chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. We had some lovely people in last night on holiday. It was very multinational last night. We had some English in. We had some Welsh in, we had some Irish in, we had some Scottish in. A lovely lady from Ireland, her name was Brenda. And who was the lady from Wales? I think that was Tracey, yes. And they were all sitting on the table. And I said, are you all on holiday? And they were down for one night of business. And, of course, they came along to the pub. They were staying in the hotel. The hotel just down the road from the Golden Line is the Travel Lodge. And quite often we get a lot of people, the Travel Lodge in King's Cross, we get a lot of people staying in there, and they walk along to the pub and join in with whatever's happening on that night. As I say, I do the 2 nights there at the Golden Line, the bingo on Monday and the karaoke on Tuesday. And this group of people came in. I said, you all on holiday? Oh, no, we're down for business. And immediately there was all these ladies and one man. And I just, you know how sometimes you just suddenly hit it off with people straight away. And immediately I hit it off with this entire table of people. We really had quite a good laugh in there on Monday. But what was really nice, and this always does it for me, I mean, this always means so much more than the wages that I get at the end of the night or anything like that. And at the end of the evening, the Irish lady, Brenda, her name was, I learnt a lot of names last night. My memory seems to have suddenly come back, because I haven't been that good with names over the years. I don't know why. It's just the way it is. I've really never really been that good remembering people's names. And I find that rude from my part. I hate that. But for some reason last night I was picking up all these names. And Brenda, she said, she came up at the end of the night and says, we've had a really good night today. We've had a hard day at work and we've really unwound in here, and it's because of you. You have made us feel very welcome. Thank you. And, you know, when someone says that to me, it just makes the whole thing worthwhile. It really does. Now, I don't have any problem with management in there or staff or anything like that. But, you know, some places, as the entertainer, you're always banging your head against a brick wall. I mean, certain managers, maybe I'm working with them now, maybe I'm not, so no names mentioned. Certain managers are really a pain in the bum. They are, because they haven't got a clue what's going on. They come out with suggestions and then change their mind halfway through them. It's a bit like that, really. But, you know, even if you've had a night like that and the manager's been a bit of a pain and what have you, if someone comes up and says to you, thank you for the night, it's been great, then everything else that has gone goes straight out your mind and is replaced by that nice comment. So that's a really nice thing to say, Brenda. I don't suppose you're watching. Did you take my little note back with the website on there? Who else was playing? And also we had a very large group of youngsters coming night from the Poor School. Now you can look that up on the internet if you want to. Poor School in King's Cross. This is where people go and learn acting skills. And quite often the Poor School are in there, and they're usually on a table on their own, chatting away. They don't always... Well, they've never played bingo before, maybe a couple of them. But last night, the entire table was playing, and they started playing right at the beginning of the night, which was, I think, about 8:30. And they carried on. They played all the games last night, and they had a really good time. One laddie won 3 times, I think. What was his name? Scott and his girlfriend, they were there playing, and I think they're saving up to move in together. At the moment, Scott's living at this girl's house with her mother as well, and they kept winning, and they won a microwave last night and some other bits and pieces. And how nice is this, right? Scott got his girlfriend to ring up her mum, where he's staying at the moment, to ask what prize her mum wanted. How nice is that? Eh? I just think that's so nice. And who else was there last night? Gareth. And I had a good old chat with Scott, actually, about things. And we were talking... we got onto the subject of... why do you want to be an actor? And quite rightly, he said, well, because I like acting and entertaining people, that sort of thing. And I said, it's funny you should mention that. I said, one thing you must never do... And I've mentioned this many times before, anything to do with entertainment, acting, DJing, maybe radio, anything like that, never come into it to make a lot of money. Because you probably won't. If that is your prime objective, it is not going to happen. You've got to be totally into what you're doing. Sometimes it has a price, I'm afraid. I think really over the years, because I've put everything, I mean everything, into my work, including stuff like I'm doing now, like this show, the DJing, the karaokeing, the other bits and pieces I've done over the years, because I've put so much into it, I'm kind of very independent and still on my own. And I think it's a very high price to pay. But you can get somewhere. You can get somewhere, and if you're reasonably good at what you're doing, you'll make a bit of money. Yeah, but never ever come into anything like DJing or anything like that to make money. I had one of the bar staff, funnily enough, lovely lad at the place I work at in Clapham. He came up to me, he says, Chris, teach us to be a DJ. I said, why do you want to be a DJ? He said, oh, you make much more money than bar staff. Wrong answer. Wrong answer, I'm afraid. And then he like tried to change his mind, and he says, oh no, it's not really, I really like music. I said, no, you want it for the money. It ain't going to happen, mate. It is not going to happen. Never come into it to make loads of money. Interestingly enough, after talking to Scott like that, on the way in last night, while I was driving, I was listening to the radio, and they were talking about why is the sport here in the UK so bad at the moment. I think there's I'm not a great football fan, but there's some sort of European Cup thing on very shortly, and England isn't in it. We're not winning the rugby, or the cricket, or the football, or anything. You know, what are we winning? I think we won some boxing thing recently, that was about it. And why is that? This bloke on the radio says a lot of the footballers, and now the rugby players as well, it's starting to go into the rugby as well, they're doing it for the money. They're not doing it for the glory. All the football greats of years gone by, and remember, I'm not a football fan, I'm no way a football expert, but I do know that all the greats of years gone by weren't paid the vast sums of money that some of these people are being paid. It's just a big business. All these football clubs, it is a big business. Money is number one. And that could well be why it's not working anymore for us. A lot of youngsters. I want to be a football player and make loads of money. Wrong answer. I wonder how many people... I wonder how many of these football players now, not all of them, I'm sure, but how many of them play the game now and they don't win and they say, well, it doesn't matter, I get paid all this money anyway. I bet there's a few of them. And that might be why sport is so bad in this country, because they're being paid so much money and it doesn't matter whether they win or lose. It's all big business now, isn't it, sport? I'm glad I'm not involved in it. I'm glad I'm not involved in big business, really. And it's all very well, you know, I say to you, I've told you before about my little property thing that I do. That really is only a pension scheme. You're not making vast sums of money out of that. Not at all. A little bit. There's nothing coming in at the moment because you don't make any money on property until you sell it all. Okay? A lot of people, they think you're raking it in. Nothing could be further from the truth. It's a long-term pension thing, because quite honestly, in this country, here in the UK, pension schemes are just a joke. I get my pension... what is that bit of paper you get? A pension forecast every year. And what they're going to pay me a year, I mean, it's... Believe me, you might... I think by the time I retire... which I'm actually set up to retire. The pension starts paying out when I'm 50. And I can't believe that's 5 years away, dear. But in all honesty, it's a bit of a waste of time. With the money they're going to pay me over a year as a pension, I'd be lucky to afford 2 holidays with that. Seriously, I don't even know why I'm bothering putting money into it. Really don't. Anyway, there's a little bit of news for you now. Now, I've rabbited on, and I've just looked at the clock. We only got just over 10 minutes left now. I've got all these emails. I'm going to have to hold them on to the next programme. And I think what we'll do is something that we do occasionally, and start off the next show with emails. Otherwise, we start falling well behind. First of all, I'll try and read them in the order that they came in, all right? And wherever we get to, we'll hold on to the rest for the next show. First of all, it's Wayne Anonymous. Greetings, Wayne, who says, hello, Chris. When you were reading the sad email from Gemma, do you remember Gemma from Spain? She recently split up with her boyfriend. I was reminded how important it is to tell those who are close to us that they contribute to the enjoyment of our daily life. Which is, it's just so true. You know, not only, Wayne, those who are close to us, I've got an itch on the side of my head now, not only those who are close to us, but look at that Lady Brenda at Bingay last night, who came up and told me that she felt really welcomed and had had a good time. It makes so much difference, just one little comment from someone like that. But especially people who are close to you. You don't know. None of us know, really, when we're going to go, do we? Similarly, you don't know when your closest are going to go. So isn't it a good time to be constantly just ringing up the phone and saying, love you. Ring up I could do it to my sister sometimes. You know, we'll finish a conversation on the phone. We do like a good chat on the phone. I like to wind her up, you know that. I'm a bit naughty, a bit cheeky chappy. But then at the end I say, I miss you, I love you loads. It's nice. Keep saying it to the people you love. Wayne says, we are all so busy these days that we may unintentionally ignore the flowers already in bloom while searching for new buds. Many years ago, I suffered the loss of an energetic, intelligent woman in a tragic accident due to a sleepy truck driver. I never got to tell her how much I loved her for one last time because I was too busy at work to make my usual nightly telephone call. This is the first time I've mentioned this to anyone in over 15 years. But if I can spare someone else that pain and guilt, it is worth allowing others a small glimpse into my personal life. And I think it is, Wayne. I think you're absolutely right there. Now and again, I think we all go through life making mistakes. I think you're saying here you made a I think you're saying here you made a mistake by not ringing. Well, maybe not. You see, when I lost my mum, soon after that I started thinking, you should have done this, you should have done that. I wish on the last night of me visiting mum in hospital, when I left that hospital, I pretty much knew what was happening, but I still went to work. I wish I could turn the clock back and have stayed at the hospital just another 3 hours. I would have been there when she passed over. And I can say to people, you know, when they're rushing away from work because someone's ill at home or something like that, stay at home. If you can possibly stay at home, stay at home. And I can, quite often, I try and use my experiences or my mistakes to pass on to other people, maybe to help them. And if my experiences do help other people, then it was worth telling them. I try and use a lot of examples and experiences with my nieces and nephews, or my niece and nephews. Wayne says, thank you for providing your loyal listeners the opportunity to share your life and laughs. Bye for now from Anonymous. Thank you for that one, Wayne. Yeah, did I give the email address today? I don't think I've given out the email address yet, have I? It's chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, all right? chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. That's the email address. Oh, and by the way, when I was talking about Tracey and Ben, your partner's bad habits, all right? That's what we want to talk about as well in a future show. Has your partner got bad habits? Reveal them here to me now. We don't want anything rude, okay? What are your partners? What annoys you most about what your other half does? Does he leave cupboard doors open like Bubblegum Ben? Does he start doing the hoovering and doesn't complete it? What does he do? Does he leave the tube off toothpaste? Does he perish the thoughts? What's the worst thing you can do? Does he forget to flush the chain? Oh, no. We don't like that, dear. Oh. I'm feeling ill now. Who doesn't flush the chain? Is it you? What are your bad habits? Let me know, okay? The email address, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Now, we're just going to fit one more email in, and then the rest I'm going to have to hold on to the next show. I've got one here from... let's have a look at the time, yeah. Gordon in Doncaster, Ian, Scott, Mark S, Stuart, new listener Stuart, Wayne, another one from Wayne, one from Robert in Iceland. Well, I'm going to have to hold on to all of those to the next show, I'm afraid. Sorry about that, but I've been rabbiting away so long. I only intended to talk for a little while and then do the emails today, but there we are. We'll start off the next show with the emails, okay? Dear Chris, this is from Betty. Now, do you remember Betty? Betty is Suko's friend, and she is coming to London very shortly. And she says, and we got Wayne the butler. Remember Wayne the butler? We got him on the phone, who was dishing out bits of advice to Betty rather nicely. Dear Chris, oh, by the way, Wayne at the moment, he's on now a foreign work for the next 4 weeks. He is in Geneva. Yeah, he's in Geneva in Switzerland, and he's serving food and doing butlering things there at someone's holiday chalet, right? right? Well, it's not someone's holiday. It's a holiday chalet that has been rented out. How much, right? Remember, Wayne's a butler, so to employ butlers, you have to have a lot of money. You know, these are people with lots of money. How much do you think they have rented this holiday chalet in Geneva for? 1 week. Go on, have a guess. Any idea? £1,000? £2,000 maybe? £35,000. £35,000 they've rented out this holiday chalet for. Not Wayne, the people employing him. $70,000 to rent a holiday chalet for 1 week. They got more money than sense, didn't they? They could have had this. They could have had my spare room for 10 quid for a week, dear. Anyway, let's read this email. Dear Chris, thank you for taking Suko's email about my forthcoming visit. I just viewed your talk show on YouTube. Wayne provided some good suggestions and I will check them out, so thank you, Wayne. Please thank him for me, and I have indeed passed on the email to Wayne, OK? I'm travelling with my 13-year-old daughter and family friends with child of the same age. I don't think I'll be able to visit you on Monday or Tuesday night. Never mind. Next time, maybe. Thanks for the invite, though. I hear you might be coming to New York. Maybe I'll get a chance to see you then. Suko is crazy about your talk show. Every time she talks about you, she's happy and looks forward to your next show. Looking forward to seeing London, and that's from Betty. Thank you, Betty. Not sure where I'm going on holiday yet. I'll be absolutely honest. I don't feel I need a holiday. I didn't have one last year either, believe it or not. It must be about 13 months since I went away for a long time. So there we are. Maybe I will this year, maybe I not. New York was certainly an idea in my head. Time for me to go now. As always, thank you very much for joining me. Don't forget, do join us by email, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, and the main United Kingdom Talk website, you can find all the links there to the forums and the YouTube and everything, is unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. I'll see you on the next show. Thanks a lot. From myself, Chris Reardon. Bye-bye now.